Call me Ishmael, and I am out searching for the white whale, but sexy. Moby Dick? Nah, wet my dick with the long legs of the Ningen. I'm Spooky Maddie, and this is Anomalous. Hello everyone, welcome back to Anomalous, where we talk about, you already know,
where we talk about dead memes. Welcome to Dead Meme Review with Ishmael and just Cullen.
It's a good meme.
It's a good meme, yeah, sure.
Well, you already know that we talk about things that you do not know. And we are just full of Taco Bell right now.
Oh, I'm stuffed to the brim. As you said, you're Spooky Maddie, full to the brim of Taco Bell. I'm just Cullen, full to the brim of Taco Bell. And reporting in from the front lines, you know what's crazy? Chemo? Not the fun romp that everyone has been telling me it would be.
Yeah, honestly. You thought you were in for a fun time, but...
I thought I'd just be like going down to the golf range, you know, hitting high fives on the street, doing kick flips over my doctor. It was pretty bad.
It was bad, and you know what? Let's give a little sympathy for the devil here. I was bored as hell.
Yeah, that's fair.
You weren't...
As I was laying in bed, shivering, my entire body aching from the poison I've been injecting into my veins, you were sort of... Mario had lost its shine by that point, really.
There's only so many forensics files about poisoning children you can get.
It's weird that you only watch those episodes.
No, it's weird that there was a whole season full of those episodes. But yes, you were asleep most of the day, and I was bored without you to entertain me.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't be there to entertain you. Because I was, again, dying. But anyway... So this week we're talking about the sea monster with the best complexion.
Drop the skincare routine, sis. We are talking about the Ningen. And the Ningen is a modern cryptid spotted since the early 2000s in the Antarctic Ocean. Reports of the massive sea creature are common online, but evidence is scarce and possibly even suppressed. What we do know is that this novel creature is unlike any aquatic animal known to biologists, but it does bear a striking and eerie resemblance to us.
Human beings.
Human beings, yeah. It's like a giant humanoid in the Arctic, all white. Kind of looks like that picture of a cat with two legs.
I'd really like to see, with all of the Ningen pale skin as a beautiful canvas foundation, what kind of magic could you pull with the half dozen ColourPop palettes that you've bought this week?
Oh my gosh.
Makeover!
Fabulous. Fabu.
You're going to use a little bit of Hello Kitty around the face, no neck area, sort of the bulge of its head. Maybe a little bit of Baroque upon its slender gams.
I'm just thinking that the Snow Much Fun palette would be perfect since they...
I'm fine with she, weirdly.
I think you're attracted to the Ningen. It's the long legs.
They're very long. I'm not attracted, but you have to respect a pair of gams.
Gams?
A pair of gams that you're like...
Who said it had gams?
It's got gams.
Are gams legs?
Probably. You have to respect a pair of gams that you know a set of stairs is scared of them.
Oh,
like, they're gonna get fucked up by those gams.
Like my powerful thighs.
You have the strongest thighs ever recorded.
Ever in history. The, like, oddly sensual nature of this cryptid does bring me to a point I've been wanting to make. In this quarantined chemo state, bored out of my mind.
Get on the soapbox, sister.
Oh, I have played The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for 45 hours in the past 3 days.
It's a full week's work crammed into 3 days.
And there's a race of beings called the Zora, and they are fish people. And at first, I was telling you about this, they kind of disgust me.
Yeah, I walked up and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's like a manta ray. Oh, that guy's like a shark person. This is kind of fun. You're like, I hate Jeez, look at his head.
Yeah, his head is like a full shark. Okay, but then I Googled it. Turns out people really, really badly want to fuck that fish guy.
People really, really badly want to fuck everything drawn, animated, or put on film.
What weird. But the fish guy specifically, and they're like, they made some points. They made some points towards his sensuality.
This has to be deleted from the episode. We can't spread this kind of information.
No, because I want to post this meme I found.
Oh my
That's
God.
like the legend of me wanting to fuck a fish.
Is it almost better for you to plaster that on our Instagram with no context in the episode?
That's fair. They're just like, what is...
I'm sorry.
Scared.
Our social media, we had hired someone for social media and they've been fired, of course.
We hired Ted Cruz's old guy for a cheap discount.
Ted Cruz out there liking pornography and taking away basic social programs.
Nice. So, just another general overview first about the Ningen. Actually, the word Ningen means human in Japanese and is often used to refer to humanoids. So the Ningen became popular and known in like the popular mind from an article in 2007 from a Japanese paranormal magazine where they kind of just reported like, look at this Arctic human.
Yeah, we'll get into all of the scarce evidence later more, but they provided a couple of images, including like a vague blurry shape on a Google Maps photo.
Yeah.
So I think just before that article was published in MU, a Japanese paranormal magazine, it was possibly originated on a thread on 2chan back in 2007 on whatever their equivalent of the /X board is.
Yeah, so as far as we know, the very first reports of the Ningen originated in like a little thread in 2chan in 2007. The thread was posted by someone claiming to be a seaman on a Japanese vessel researching whales near Antarctica. The thread states that while whale watching, they spotted what they thought was a surface submarine in the distance. And it is unclear if the whalers were approached by the figure or the whalers went to investigate it themselves. But as they got closer, they realized it was no submarine, but a living creature.
Bold and kind of badass of a whale research vessel to spot a surface submarine, which I'm going to say 85% of the time is some sort of Soviet sub getting up to a Machiavellian scheme and just roll up to it to check out what's going on.
Damn, courageous of them.
This is technically the point in the story where I wish it had just become like a Soviet thriller novel, but I suppose a giant undiscovered sea creature is cool too.
It's cool. It's cool. The researchers described the beast as 20 to 30 meters long with pale skin. How many feet is that?
A meter is roughly 3 feet, so like a 90-foot long.
Holy shit.
When I say that those gams would annihilate a set of stairs, I'm not fucking with you. Like, it would.
Yeah, I needed some big stairs. Mm-hmm. It would annihilate most architecture.
Yeah.
So across the many sightings and low-quality images captured, there are a lot of possible elements and descriptions to the Ningen. A variety of different reports have kind of described or noticed different characteristics, although the general, like, giant white beast with legs is kind of like the go-to.
I mean, I guess it's like any other description from eyewitnesses where there can be like any number of different elements that shift from one to another. And the police sketches that would come out of the description of this Ningen would be really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Because one of the elements, we'll go through the different descriptions in 1 second, but one of the elements that seems to go across all of them is it has like this bulge head where its shoulders just kind of like temple up into the top of its cranium. Instinctually, I want to say it's cute, but I know that it's not in a more real sense.
That's fair.
Like Creature.
Oh, no. So, as I stated earlier, the basics of the description of the Ningen are 1 or 2 long, humanoid-like legs with flippers at the end, and in most cases, 2 arms as well. They have a torso, which is widest at the shoulders. It's a fun shape, sure.
It's kind of like those weird, like, male bodybuilders where it's, like, super wide at the shoulders and, like, tapers uncomfortably as it gets to their hips.
Damn, them Dorito built.
Yeah, exactly. Dorito boys.
Except I feel like it doesn't taper as much. Kind of stays wide.
I don't know. Some of them it tapers like really aggressively. Also, some of them, as you said, it's like 1 or 2 limbs for the bottom limbs. Some of them have mermaid tails, whereas some of them just like have 2 legs with flippers.
Yes, that is what I've heard. Okay, so its shoulders round up to its head, and it does not have a neck.
If it has a neck, that neck is wider than the head, but just under the width of the shoulders.
Yes, it's the perfect parabola of upper body.
You could teach a central geometry lesson based on the shape of this creature's body.
Yeah, and on its head, it is often described as having a simple face. A lot of the descriptions say they can make out an eyes and a mouth, but that's pretty much it.
It didn't have a simple face in the same way as, like, that girl that you forgot existed from high school has a simple face. It has a simple face in the same way, like, if I were required to draw a face, it would be a simple face. Or it's just like a line and 2 little circle eyes.
Yes, very fun. So details included in some sightings are the presence of fins, particularly along the back. We've also heard descriptions of fingers, usually stubby and wide set.
The Google image results for this are lacking. I'm not gonna lie. They're very lacking. It's about 4 images and all of them are fake. But the finger like hands that they gave one of them, it's closer to the hand of like a Simpson, but if you like shorten the fingers a bunch so they were just barely sticking out. It's adorable. It's like a stubby little starfish for a hand.
That is very stubby. It's stubbier than you can even imagine.
It doesn't even really make sense from like an animal perspective because like fish hands are like super long fingers with webbing in between, so they have as much surface area to like paddle along.
Yeah.
You don't want these like little meaty paws. The Ningen in all the stories we've seen have been peaceful, but if it was like a classical sea monster, imagine its stubby little hands trying to pick up a sailor in between them.
Oh my god.
Like 2 chopsticks.
I thought you were saying the slap it could give.
Oh
with just,
my god.
Meaty palms.
That's its number 1 attack is like a Pokemon. It's just a big slap into the middle of the boat.
Yeah. I felt like I had to burp. My body's not handling the amount of Taco Bell we had well.
If only you in line making your Taco Bell order could see you now.
Honestly.
Shit panties, the sweater's off, your titties are out.
My titties aren't out.
Your arms are painted randomly with different cosmetics that you got today.
Yeah, I had to swatch them.
I just drew a little alien with the eyeliner.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Do 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 do. Just take my advice and think again next time you think a cheesy gordita crunch can be replaced by 2 tacos.
We really did indulge in all of the like oddities that Taco Bell offers.
Yeah.
We're extending an olive branch after they deleted the potatoes from the menu. We're like, fine, we'll take a look at some of the other options you have on hand. They have not been treating our bodies well. No. And we're only about 45 minutes into this grand experiment. So things are probably going to get a lot darker before they get better.
Yeah, honestly.
Is that why they called the Gordito Crunch the chemo of Mexican food?
Christ. I'm like, you know what? I kind of know how you felt those weeks now that I'm thinking about it.
I'm bored as hell.
Oh, no, rude. So, rarer, like maybe only once, it's come up that the Ningen might have tentacles.
That detail comes from the same people that are spreading the Zora sex fantasy articles. Articles? Like they're submitting the erotica device.
Wall Street Journal.
See in the Wall Street Journal how they want to stuff their members into the blowhole of a Zora?
Christ.
I do not understand what this means for the market.
The Ningen having tentacles is just the male fantasy.
9 out of 10 men in 9 out of 10 men agree tentacles on a Ningen is the sexiest thing since Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
Times have changed, but tastes have not.
Oh my god. It's nature, baby. The Legend of Zelda, the legend of me wanting to fuck a tentacled Ningen.
Women can't handle that this is the male fantasy.
Honestly, this is peak female performance.
Hun, you're so sexy to me, but it's just like, what if you had super long, pale gams, no neck, and tentacles to tickle my butt? We're so off the rails.
Alright, well, we described that it could have tentacles.
Yeah, I think we covered that point thoroughly. I think we covered the tentacle point from all angles.
So other sightings actually have been recorded after the first original 2chan post.
There was that magazine article, as we said, that had a couple of reports and the Google image search in it. But they continue to show up like in forums. It's a hard thing to search out. If you're going to look up Ningen, you're going to find a bunch of articles talking about it as an internet phenomenon. And I'm going to say due to the nature of search engines, it's actually pretty difficult to find like forum discussions of it. But if you run across, like we ran into one on cryptozoology, where they said that they had contact with someone who was working in the like Japanese ship crews. And they said that about half of the people on the cruise for these ships had said that they spotted the Ningen before, like they had seen it themselves, which is pretty big. It also, along with other forum posts, gave a little bit more detail about where it might be and some hints about why information about it might not be spreading so much.
And we'll get to those points. There could be a reason why they're difficult to Google and difficult to get pictures of or like primary evidence of. But there have been a lot of reported sightings. Once again, the problem is these are all on forums. It's like anonymous stories.
Or secondhand also a lot.
Yeah. And notoriously, we've covered this, no good photos out there of them.
It's rarer than good photos of my hair.
Damn.
And that's pre-chemo talking.
Sad. I think you're handsome.
Aw, that's very generous of you.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so it's theorized that the Ningen only come out at night, so good photos would be difficult. And there is a little conspiracy to keep you strapped to your seats that we will address later. And this would be a great time for Samsung or Nikon or some shit to have us read a sponsored segment about their cameras.
Give us some money to talk about how if you want to catch a Ningen or Bigfoot or Fresno Nightwalker in the dead of night, you got to get a Samsung Vibrant Night camera. You have to.
Very good. Yeah, and you know, when I'm out in Antarctica and I'm just like spending all day rowing my boat in the cold, I don't have time to go get like produce, to go to Whole Foods. So that's why HelloFresh is
We are desperate here.
Yeah, come on. Our PayPals will be linked below. So, as we've said, there are a lot of reports. Some kind of like delve into some lore. Some speculate and or like based on their witnesses, it appears as though there's like a little island of them.
Yeah, there might be a cluster of islands that they like to swim around. And there seems to be rumors that the area around those islands is like semi-restricted to ship travel as some sort of like nature preserve. Sounds like it's probably not true, but like it'd be cool as hell if it were. If those set of islands in the Antarctic actually are restricted for a nature preserve, it's definitely just because, like, if you were to run a motorboat through there, your prop would get clogged up with seal meat.
Oh, rip.
There's some sort of regular animal in there that there's a lot of that they're protecting. If any of this is true, the only truth in this world is Ningen Gams.
Ningen Gams. Ningams.
Ningams.
All right, and that's pretty much all we have. We're going to delve into some theories. Do you want to cover a possible mythological backstory?
Right. So, interestingly, there is some lore that could be associated with this. There is the story of the Ningen, which is basically like a human sea person. It's kind of like a mermaid, but don't think as fun. Don't think Ariel, think of like a trout with a human face. They're all described online as being like a fish body with beautiful golden scales, and then a monkey mouth with tiny fish teeth. It's
Just
like,
don't know what the hell a monkey mouth is.
I think it's what our mouths look like, is a monkey mouth.
What?
Regardless, this happens every once in a while in research where someone on Wikipedia writes something kind of weird, and all of the articles that rip off that Wikipedia article just copy and paste that weird bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
The same monkey mouth, tiny fish teeth, golden scales shows up everywhere, and I'm gonna look through the edit history. It's someone's fault.
Yeah, someone is playing the long con here.
They've infected the internet with a thought virus, and it is monkey mouth.
What the hell is it? Why wouldn't they say human mouth if it was supposed to be like...
There's any number of options of how they could have better described it.
It makes no sense.
Regardless, there is a story of this mermaid-ish fish person, the Ningen. And it could be that this is, a modern day extension of it, because it is most popular online within Japan, and of course began at least tied to, if not directly in the community of these Japanese vessel crews. And if we do have a moment, the only story associated that Wikipedia has with the Ningen is like a fisherman caught one and then invited his friends over to eat it. And they were all about to eat it, but then one of them went into the kitchen and noticed the fish had a human face. And he was like, maybe we shouldn't eat this fish with a human face.
Sure.
I think it has a monkey mouth.
Oh my god.
And then they were all like, oh, okay. So they all like quietly wrapped up their bits of fish and like brought them home so they could throw them away quietly without like hurting the fisherman's feelings. Mm-hmm. But then one of them went home and his daughter wanted a present. So he was like, I don't know, have this fish. But then at the last second, he remembered that he shouldn't have given her the fish, but she already ate it anyway.
No.
But she was totally fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Except that she no longer aged and just like lived immortal. And then she had like a nice life. She had like a bunch of like longtime loves and husbands. Mm-hmm. And then at 800 years old, she came back to the village where it all started, and then she died.
Guess that's kind of a nice story.
It's not a story. It has no beginning, middle, or end.
Yes, it does.
Okay, you're right. It has a beginning and a middle, and then another middle, and then a third middle.
No. No. But I thought it was going to go that they saw the fish with the monkey mouth, and they're like, kiss the monkey mouth, kiss the monkey mouth. Ew.
Kissing the monkey mouth. I thought you were going to say, this is the story of how the fish fillet was invented.
The
Fish?
Filet-O-Fish.
Filet-O-Fish.
What she order? Fish fillet from a fish with the monkey mouth?
That's an original Maddie rap.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is a possible tie back to Japanese folklore. But a couple things. The Ningen is, like we said, 20, 30 meters long, and also smooth white skin, whereas the Ningen is clearly a smaller fish because it could be caught by a fisherman, and also has scales and like a human face instead of a simple face.
Yeah.
But if you do think that it's a tie-over, well, then it puts some cool properties on the Ningen in that to catch one would be very bad luck, because to catch a Ningen is terrible luck. So
That's fair.
don't go out there trying to wrestle those gams out of the water. You gotta love them right where they are.
Don't go chasing Ningen gams.
But there are a few other explanations that might be a little more titillating than the folklore one.
Yeah, so, is there a possible scientific exclamation for the Ningen?
Possibly. Our resident biologist is gonna take a look.
Let's hear it out. So, from what we know in history and life, God and Darwin sure love terrifying looking fish.
They really do.
Shit's so fucked up.
Hate an angler.
I hate most fish. It's gonna be a majority of the fish are scary looking to me.
Yeah.
Alright, so, God and Darwin. Yes, I'm implying that God herself, God themselves? worked with Charles Darwin and designed the Ningen. And yes, I'm implying that Darwin himself runs evolution himself and the legitimate creation of fun-ass animals. I'm a biologist, after all.
It says all of this on your degree, and I'm pretty sure that is like the Hippocratic Oath of biology.
Oh, yeah.
God and Darwin were bros, and they worked together to invent scary fish. We don't know why, but they also came up with sloths, so fair play to you.
Fair play. Why are fish like that? Why is the ocean like that? I don't know. I am a biologist. That is true. I work in a lab and everything. Love Darwin. He's my dude.
I at least appreciate that Darwin and God, when working together, they at least like took all of this scary like oarfish and anglerfish and were like, let's get them as far away from people as we can. We'll just shove them deep in the ocean.
Yeah, thank Darwin. Okay, but honestly, little sidestep here. I think it's called like thalassophobia or some shit like that.
The fear of the open ocean?
Yeah, like in deep water. Okay, I'm spooky. I believe in this shit no matter what. But could there be a scientific explanation? I do declare there could be, because like so much of the ocean is undiscovered.
Uncharted.
Uncharted.
We do
unexplored.
Compared to other fields of research, we do like pretty regularly discover new aquatic animals.
Yeah, so much is just like completely unexplored. There are, I'm sure, thousands of species we do not know about in the ocean. And on top of that, a majority of the Antarctica is unexplored.
True. Though also, seemingly, I guess we don't know, mostly uninhabited.
Seemingly.
I mean, it was only back in like the 2000s that we had the first like fully confirmed washed ashore giant squid.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, and it makes sense to me that if there's going to be a giant sea monster somewhere where it's like don't have the most evidence, it would be like the ocean of Antarctica.
That had to have been a really good day for like the Sora fan fiction writer who was walking along the beach to spot this washed up giant squid with its sweet long tentacles.
Oh.
I haven't gotten a reaction that good since I brought up Suckle on Thine Toes.
Oh.
So what kind of biological explanations strike your fancy?
Could be some sort of ray. Some giant ray. They get pretty big. They really do.
To me with like the very simple slit mouth, eyes, face.
Could be some unknown ray. Maybe has two little stingers that are so big they look like legs.
Oh my god.
Could be an unknown species of whale. This makes a lot of sense to me, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, with the smooth skin and stuff. There are theories also of an albino whale.
Yeah, there are some theories that it's actually a whale that we know about. Like, we know him, but he's albino.
Which is when we come up with the idea of the guy from Moby Dick out there looking at the gams of this white whale.
Yes.
Like, his Moby Dick is a necklace, long-legged, thick-gammed, armed whale.
Let us know in the comments down below if you're now interested. If you're now interested in human-fish sexual relations.
It's a streaming network, so they probably listen on like Apple or Spotify.
Let us know in our PayPal down below.
Very good.
Yeah, so another like specifically, it could be a large brother of the beluga whale. Because if you don't know what a beluga whale is, come on, man. Come on. Just, no one wants you here if you don't know what a beluga... Like, it's laughable to... Colin, why are you sweating? Do you really not know what a beluga whale is, though?
No, everyone knows what a beluga whale is, but just explain it for those who shouldn't be here.
If you don't know what it is, once again, you shouldn't be here, but I guess if some of you had the galls to stick around to spit in my face like that, a beluga whale is like a mid-size white whale. It does have like kind of a lumpy head.
Oh, now I remember. They're like dolphins, but they took a blow to the forehead.
Yeah. So it could be a large whale like that. Just like the head is very reminiscent. Yeah, so I was going to save this for like slightly later, but we know all animals evolved from the water. And, you know, we know that mammals can still live in the water. So is it possible that they really are some sort of Arctic humanoid?
It could be, and it is interesting from an evolution perspective because whales left the water. They developed in like a mammally way where they have these legs and arms, and then evolved back towards the water, and obviously like they still breathe air. But if you look at the skeleton of a whale, it is weirdly similar to a human skeleton.
Yeah, and there are other mammals that are just like known as terrestrial animals that, which we'll get into in 1 second, that have evolved for water at some point, for aquatic life at some point. So it seems pretty possible that there are primates that have evolved back to an aquatic or semi-aquatic life. And it could make sense if there's like living in Antarctica. Certainly there's more food supply in the water.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, it's not unbelievable that there could be a variant of whales that retained some more detached upper appendages.
Yeah, there's the possibility that it's a whale that has adapted like longer limbs, or that it's closely related to humans, like some sort of primate that has adapted to live in the water, or evolved, for my biologists who are like, no, that's not what adaptation is.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think that's possible that it legit could be like a human-like creature. Like, okay, I did write this somewhere. Okay, like a Bigfoot of the sea.
Yeah,
like
you did write
every
that.
realm.
You actually, if you look closely, you made that the watermark behind our notes. It just says the Bigfoot of the sea.
The Bigfoot
there.
of this. You've heard of chicken of the sea. The Bigfoot of the sea.
Very good.
So the Bigfoot that is Bigfoot is the Bigfoot of land.
Is this one of those riddles that a monk tells me while I'm trying to get on the train?
Yes. Yeti is the Bigfoot of ice. Ningen is the Bigfoot of water. And our element, we are the Bigfoot of Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
We're the Bigfoot of possibly putting ourselves at medical risk with the Taco Bell order.
It's too much Taco Bell. We're the Taco Bell Bigfoot.
She's having a premenopause hot flash due to this Taco Bell.
The Taco Bell raised my internal temperature.
She's been dropping clothes and turning on the fan. We've had several breaks for her to like rip off articles of clothing and turn on the fan in the room.
And that one break, like when we went to the ER.
Yeah, that was a quick one, a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so think of it as could be like a Neanderthal or a Bigfoot in the water.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, so I have one more. It's gonna knock your socks off.
Barefoot.
Barefoot? Get ready for water sloth.
Fuck!
Yes, I love sloths.
Sloths are her favorite animal, as we've covered a staggering number of times on this podcast.
Because I relate to them so much. I poop like once a month.
Yep.
I sleep 22 and a half hours a day.
Exactly.
I am very slow.
She doesn't like to do stuff. I would restrict it to that.
Okay, so could be a relative to a prehistoric and now extinct species of sloth that were semi-aquatic. So there were 5 species of aquatic sloths in the genus Thalassochnus.
Thalassochnus?
Thalassochnus. Yes.
Very, very good.
So most of the genus were quite large, larger than humans, and only grew throughout their short rip evolutionary history.
Damn.
The largest species, T. natans, measured around 8.5 feet from snout to tail.
Wow.
Pretty big.
Only 3 meters, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we're making our way. So super interesting and super cool. I've now dedicated my whole life to them.
Yeah, she changed research jobs. She started her own lab.
It's remarkably easy to do.
Yeah, especially when you threaten people with violence.
Yeah, that's true.
Open up a sloth lab or the entire university is going up in flames.
All it takes is 2 to 5 simple to complex in range bomb threats. And you got your own water sloth lab.
She's got University of Arizona President Robert Robbins at the edge of his seat, trembling in fear and kowtowing to every single one of her requests for a water sloth lab.
Oh, yeah. He's not appreciating our podcast. He's not appreciating that we didn't get him Taco Bell, that's for sure.
This is why this episode isn't called Episode 7 Water Sloth. It's called Episode 7 Manifesto.
Oh, God. Only 7 episodes in. Breaking news. The FDA actually...
just approved water sloth?
Just approved my water sloth lab for emergency use.
That's nice. What does it do exactly?
It just... I just take naps. Google pictures of big sloths.
You know what? You're pushing science forward in ways that people are too cowardly to.
So that is our very scientific theories.
Technically, those were the Just Cullen theories. I think there's one more of like a environmental explanation.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I gotta do my due diligence as a reporter, artist, producer, icon, international hero.
Absolutely staggering that they gave you that media credential.
And scientist. And mentioned that some theorize the sightings could be a large iceberg. But large icebergs don't have sexy smooth skin.
Oh my god, do you think that's what happened to the Titanic? He was steering it along. He's like, swerve away from that iceberg. Wait a second. No. Actually, stay on course. A little bit. Are those gams?
The gams.
Smash cut to just the ship sinking below the surface.
Oh no.
Oh my god, the Ningen slapped Titanic in half? So moving on to some more fun theories.
Well, actually, this one's not that fun, but... So, is it possible that it's a hoax? No.
Okay.
But there's not much evidence. It originated online on, like, a forum site, on a Chan forum site, no less.
You know what I'll say? Low on truths, those sites.
Yeah. Why do you think people would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? Yeah, maybe it was just like an OG ARG creepypasta.
Yeah, as someone who just bent their iPhone in half, it's easy to get caught up in these rumors, these online tales.
Yeah, the pictures and videos taken of the supposed creature are low quality, to say the least.
And even for 2007, we're saying they're low quality.
Yeah, so now we're getting into some real fun, and it's conspiracy, and I'm surprised we haven't done a conspiracy episode, but I would like to keep my FDA accreditation and CIA accreditation for the Sloth Lab.
I think you probably just lost it saying it on a podcast, but...
No!
Yeah, well.
So, there is a conspiracy that the government knows that there is some sort of creature but has covered it up. They have done this by destroying or hiding photographs, evidence, and silencing testimonies regarding the Ningen. And another theory kind of bouncing off of that, the government may have planted fake, purposefully ridiculous representations of the Ningen online to take away from the legitimacy and obfuscate the actual photos of the beast.
They are putting out disinformation. They're trying to obscure this information of the Ningen. And I have another theory about why it might be happening. You know how Japan has this staggering amount of vicious pornography?
Oh my god.
But they always blur out, like, the explicitly sex parts of everyone. Like, what if...
No, I don't know that.
What if they... Well, I caught you in a lie. What if they're taking all of the information of the Ningen and just trying to censor it out because it is the essence of sexy?
Oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense to me.
The gams of this Ningen are the equivalent of just a straight up vulva.
Oh. How is that allowed?
Of the words I've said on this podcast, vulva is...
Oh my god!
The gold standard for something that you get mad at me saying is still eating Mr. Siegel's asshole.
Oh my. How are you gonna look my parents in the eyes this Christmas?
I'm gonna look them in the eyes and say, I'm a moderately successful podcast host.
Wow, we're really reaching for the stars there.
Crushing.
But
share with your friends and family.
share this.
Share this.
Share this quality content. So why would the government blur out using their pornography
Filters,
technology?
which they've been developing since the late 70s.
Why would they blur out and fake and all this cover up the Ningen? It could be to preserve the sanctity and legitimacy of their whale research expedition.
Could be, yeah.
Important whale research being done.
It's like how all of the various files for your water sloth research are highly encrypted by CIA codebreakers.
Exactly correct.
Just to keep it out of the wrong hands.
The legitimacy of it all.
If your research into nap technology was discovered by the Russians, we would instantly lose the Second Cold War.
Honestly, would be gone. So this is interesting. Hear me out. The government knows even more about the Ningen, whatever the Ningen may be, than we even think, and they have actually done important top secret research on the beans.
I hope not, poor Ningen.
Poor Ningen. It's for science. So the Ningen could possibly produce some sort of chemicals that are valuable for military or medical reasons, and the government is hoarding the wealth.
Makes sense. Could it be the Japanese company that invented Viagra is just selling shavings of Ningen gams? It's the ultimate aphrodisiac.
Oh my gosh. Get your gim gams.
Get your Gim Gams got.
Honestly.
NingenGimGams.com.
Whoa.
It's gonna redirect.
.gov.
It's gonna redirect to our merch page, which is just a single plush of a Ningen.
Oh my gosh. That's magnificent. It reminds me of ambergris. Ambergris.
Yeah, I like it. I was thinking that like military applications. What if it's just ambergris, but Ningen ambergris is just C4?
Yeah, so ambergris is like an excrement of sperm whales. I don't know if y'all have seen that Bob's Burgers on it. Pretty funny.
And informative.
Honestly. And it's super valuable. So, if these Ningen are a type of whale or related vaguely to a whale, could possibly produce some very valuable things.
Really good. Yeah. Some of the highest quality perfumes in the world. Could they already be including Ningen ambergris?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's vaguely possible in this weird play world we live in.
Jeez. Could my Marc Jacobs Daisy by Marc Jacobs from a Marc Jacobs Corporation by Marc Jacobs be poop from the Ningen?
You did this superhuman feat of a tongue twister, this beautiful soliloquy of rhymes, and you cap it off by saying, "What if it's poop?"
Yeah.
It's art in some way.
It's in some way.
In some way, it's art.
In some societies, violence. So kind of like going along vaguely evidence, maybe you won't think it's evidence.
Definitely not.
Of the conspiracy that the government's got its in with the gams is that some people have reported after they have seen the Ningen, they've reported to actually encounter men in black.
Yeah, and Men in Black, if you don't know, are figures. They kind of look like government agents in black suits, but also just off in strange ways. They often appear after UFO sightings or sightings of cryptids. They basically show up after spooky stuff happens, and some reported like mind-wiping tools or collecting information on the sighting.
Yeah, just like a further way to cover up the information and the sightings, but also a further way to make it kind of creepy and like weird stuff going on.
True. And interestingly, kind of working backwards, the communities have been like, if there are Men in Black sightings after Ningen sightings, that sort of deductively implies that there may be an alien explanation for the Ningen.
Yeah, and that leads us into our paranormal explanations, which would be aliens. Yeah, they could be some sort of alien species living in our oceans under control of, I guess, possibly some top secret, like, government agents, but also, like, the Men in Black. Why they would choose, like, the wasteland of Antarctica, I don't know.
It really does imply, like, a lost 1980s Spielberg script that was just a little bit too off base to be made, where, like, there's these nice whale-like alien creatures that are living on a dying planet that like are created in these ships and brought over and saved and put onto the Earth, and they've just been like hiding in secret around the Antarctic because the Earth is the only place that like can house them anymore. Like the opposite of that Star Trek movie where they go and save the last whale.
Nerd.
Wow, didn't expect it to be so crushing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Could be the last Ningen of their kind, but they don't have enough water. Mm-hmm. Or they're just doing it for fun, to mess with us. So we touched on it before. I'm not sure if, decide for yourself whether this would count as paranormal, but if they were some sort of humanoids related to humans, could be intelligent, which is why they haven't been like spotted or like quote unquote discovered. Reminds me of my favorite quote that I saw on Reddit as a joke, but I believe it. It's like, how many deers have you seen? Stop and think, listeners. How many deers have you seen?
A bunch.
A good amount, yeah. Well, those are animals that are just seen by humans. They don't give a fuck. We live in mountain lion world. How many mountain lions have you seen? I've seen like maybe one. Maybe.
Yeah.
And they try not to be seen by humans. I mean, we've been outdoors. We live in mountain lion territory. Yeah. We have only seen like...
I mean, technically we live in Taco Bell Dutch Bro territory.
Right next to the mountain lions.
Yeah, it's the mountain lion neighborhood and then all of the fast food, and then there's us in suburbia.
But imagine, like, an animal that is as smart as us and doesn't want to be found, like a Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. You're probably not going to see it. So, could be that the Ningen are smart. I know it's, like, implied, but I just want to really touch on this is not, like, a Loch Ness monster. It's not, like, just one. It appears that there are multiple.
Yeah, with the number of sightings, it seems like there's some sort of population of them.
Yeah. So another just kind of like thinker for you. Could be some mythological sea monster with powers, like a leviathan, like that mythological beast that the Ningyo. Could be a god of the sea, not unlike Poseidon himself. Oh my God. Haven't been out of the house in a month.
Yeah.
It's been a while, yeah. That being said, could be.
Yeah, anything's really possible when I'm this sleep deprived.
Oh my God.
Well, does that bring us to the ends of our explanations?
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you favor the most? Like, I don't know that it's sea sloths.
Sea sloths are extremely fun, but I think it is like some sort of like... I hate to say it. I do lean towards like an animal within the earthly and physical confines, like a legit whale species. Yeah. But part of me is like, could be just like a fucking magical beast from Mars.
I delight in the idea that it is some sort of gentle, ray-faced whale with arms just floating through the water. Do I even need to say the G word? Gams are there.
Gams are there. They're out there.
I also like the idea that it is some alien species that ended up hanging around on Earth for a while. I guess that's just another different kind of like evolution, but we're adding in space travel for some reason.
Yeah, but you don't like actually believe that.
No, these are ideal, fun scenarios. These are good time theories.
I believe it.
It's an iceberg. Or possibly just an albino whale.
Oh my God.
No. But, you know what? Those are kind of fun too.
You know, this has just been the tip of the iceberg with us. I hope you had a whale of a time. What? It was good.
Yeah, it was good. I like the idea that the podcast just viciously cuts off at that point. Like the end theme is played, but at 2.5 times speed. Which like, okay, goodbye.
That's fun.
Believe in Ningen Gams, believe in yourself. Obviously.
Believe in Hyrule's most sensual fish prince. And believe in yourself. Yeah. And believe in my ability to breathe Breath of the Wild like tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Happy holidays.
We'll see you for another episode in 2 weeks. And we'll have something fun for you then. We've totally decided what it is.
It's my dick in a box.
See you in 2 weeks. This has been Anomalous.